Hello everyone, welcome to the Farnborough International Air Show 2026. We're here in the Archer hangout and I'm sure all of you will recognise the aircraft behind me as well. Delighted to be joined by Tom Muniz, who is the Chief Technology Officer at Archer. So Tom, thanks so much for joining us as well. But I want to kind of start the first question, not on Midnight, but on a really exciting partnership that Archer have announced and even a new aircraft. So can you tell our audience a little bit more about what has been happening today?
Yeah, super exciting day for us. We unveiled our Halo aircraft, which is the new autonomous hybrid powertrain, vertical takeoff and lift vehicle. We've been partnered with Anduril, working on this for the last 2 years, but today is the first time we've shown it to the world, and yeah, super exciting.
Excellent stuff. And I think it's interesting to see as well that a lot of the focus is now shifting on other business use cases as well. So when it comes to Halo, looking at the lovely graphics in front of us as well, although our audience can't see it, can you talk to a bit more about kind of some of the business use cases that Halo is targeting as well, and how that can really help a market that's continuing to grow and continuing opportunities for different customers?
Yeah. Well, as you know, we've been focused for many years, like at least the last 5 years, on the development and certification of Midnight, which is a battery electric vehicle. So designed for very specific requirement set, which is moving, people relatively short ranges, trying to save time, avoid congestion, geography, etc. The Halo aircraft is designed around a totally different spec. So here we're talking about flying, more volume, more mass, much longer range. And to do that, we need a fundamentally different aircraft. But we found a way to leverage a lot of the technology that's gone into Midnight in this new platform. And so specifically, the new vehicle, as I mentioned, is a hybrid system. So on board, there's a turbo generator that burns jet fuel in order to develop electricity that's used to drive electric motors to drive the rotor system. So the same technology that's in the drives there, the batteries there, is the same that essentially came out of Midnight. But now, because of this hybrid system, we're able to fly in a dramatically longer range and address this new
Excellent stuff. And I was going to ask, actually, can you disclose any technical specs in terms of range, payload, etc.? I know the announcement was only made today, but any other information you can share with our readers about that?
Yeah, not sharing any specs today, other than much longer range than what we're talking about here, autonomous, and a substantial amount of payload.
Perfect. No. Well, we look forward to hearing more information as and when that comes along as well. If I could shift back to Archer then, and certainly the Midnight. So flight test campaign, doing a lot in the US as in the Middle East as well. Can you give our readers and audience a little bit of an idea on where Archer is at the moment with that? Very laser focused, as we've heard, about certification. So can you give our audience a bit of an update on where Archer is at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. We're still burning away in the certification effort, which is always challenging, but obviously it's super important. And so out of the broader development context is we've been flying Midnight aircraft since 2023. Over the last maybe year or so, we've been focused on piloted flight testing. So we finished a campaign last year doing all the conventional takeoff and landing, forward flight type testing. And then this year we've been focused so far on the VTOL type operations. And so, essentially with the piloted aircraft, we've cleared that fixed wing, we've cleared all the low speed transition, and now we're in the process of accelerating, to get through the kind of middle transition corridor pilot on board. And, really the challenge there has been essentially just doing the step-by-step envelope expansion with the flight control software that's essentially like developed for certification. So the level of validation and verification that goes into that is just, as very thorough, as should be the case for piloted. So, we're very methodical, safety-focused, potentially conservative group, but we think that's the right way to develop a safe product, and that's the number one thing.
Awesome. And from yourself as well, with all the hard work that's gone into Midnight to flight testing as well, from you, what's the most exciting thing that you're seeing when the aircraft's in the air? What type of data then are you excited to see when it comes to flying?
Well, the best feedback we've got is when the pilots come back and they say the aircraft flew just like the sim. That's the best every time. And really, so far, that's been like the best data is all of the validation on our guidance navigation control software. Obviously, we validated a lot of the powertrain systems in previous vehicles, so this one is really about the software, and getting to that sort of TIA ready, FAA pilots on board ready vehicle. That's obviously like the next and really kind of final step.
Perfect. And I'd like to talk, if possible, about AI and autonomy as well. Beginning to change a lot of the engineering workflows as well. So can I get thoughts on technology 5 years ago to where we are now and to where we could be in the next, start of the next decade as well? Can I talk kind of about the engineering sort of workflows and the mindset that goes into that as well as the technology starts to scale and mature too?
Yeah. I'd say there's kind of two things come to mind there. One is how our engineering team has been able to apply some of those technologies, just in, I'll call it the day-to-day work of developing an aircraft. And it's been quite dramatic, the change that's happened even in the last 12 months, where we're able to make progress much more quickly than in the past, using automation for things, particularly say software validation processes that would have been much more labor intensive, let's say. But the more interesting thing is sort of the landscape of products that we think are going to come to market over the next, call it 5-10 years, where you're applying AI in a very aviation centric way. And so last week we released this aerospace foundation model the team is working on. It's the idea there is to invest in developing and training this model that's applicable for essentially everything from pilots to air traffic control to how the aircraft flies itself and communicates with other aircraft, thinking towards a future where there's a highly automated, interconnected network of these vehicles. And we really think there's a way to deploy products in that space, to aviation users today very quickly. And by doing that, we're able to gather data to make the models better and better, right? If you think about, pick a generic, LLM, for example, or a model like Claude. Imagine if the people behind that were just focused on aviation applications, right? And all the training data was aviation focused. It's pretty cool what opportunities lie there. So we just kind of announced that we're working on this and dropped a couple breadcrumbs, but it's going to be exciting next year or two in this area.
Awesome. Well, very much look forward to seeing all that come to fruition as well. And we're here at Farnborough, amazing facility that we're in as well with Midnight behind us. What does Farnborough mean then to Archer, in terms of it's very much kind of telling people a bit more about what you're doing. We had the really exciting announcement with Halo.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from this week at the air show?
Yeah. Well, it's great to be out here. Actually, we just started a team in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Very early this year, out in Bristol. We have an office now and a good team that we're building. So super exciting to be here in the UK and be part of it. But really, the big thing today is Halo, right? Super excited to share about that. Lots more exciting things to come.
Perfect. Well, Tom, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the week and look forward to following Archer's progress.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.